Hey traders, investors, and stock market enthusiasts, it's your boy Jeremy Alexander Newsome, your cerebral pyromaniac. I'm ready to get your brain fired up with this edition of a real life trading video. Enjoy, thanks so much for watching, you rock. Hey traders from around the world, how are you today? My name is Jeremy Alexander Newsome and we are looking at your Wednesday real life stock review. Today is spelled with an E. Just your regular old Wednesday. Beautiful day of the week for sure, but this actually was a losing Wednesday, and not only was it a losing Wednesday, but it was actually the worst Wednesday that I've had all year long. Sounds bad, and it wasn't that bad. We'll talk about it. We'll review it. We'll chat about it. Great learned lessons from today. Bottom line, just a very small, sideways, nothing type of day on the SPY. Really pretty brutal and miserable. Pretty much early this morning, even before market open, I was like, guys, I don't think we're going to get much at all today. And so normally when you get moves like this, even though yesterday was profitable, we just don't have a lot of movement, right? This week, fantastic. This week, slow. And it happens. Again, a lot of times your P&L and equity curve can look like the market, right? When the markets have really good days or weeks, your P&L should look really good, and then you'll have like a little bit of a dip. And if we do this at any point in time, that's what my P&L is going to look like. I'm quite sure of it. So holding strong, got a lot of swing trades. We will review those together. But right now on the SPY, we are just pancake flat, not much happening at all. And it's really good for my option selling fans. The weekly chart is just hanging out, and I do eventually think we are going to go higher. Just a slowdown, and it might last 2-3 weeks, but then most likely we'll get a little bit of a break higher, potentially. The Qs doing their thing. My buddy Scott McKay has a covered call on the Qs. An evening star reversal of sorts on the Qs. And again, if we do break down tomorrow, which we could, I still would expect us to break down and then a dip buying opportunity. I just think wherever we do, whatever we do, it's a dip buying opportunity at this point in time. Long-term moving averages look pretty good, but that is a pretty nice evening star. So tomorrow, if we get a gap down or something in the markets, be looking to make some gains back. The Dow Jones ETF, this wick is not totally accurate, and it does show up on a lot of other ETFs. Sorry, not ETFs, but a lot of other platforms. Just a nice resistance here on the Dow Jones, right at this 26.6 level, 266.05. So at some point, if we break above that, we should be good to go. But remember, a lot of people saying we need a really, really big correction. My friends, this was right at 20% correction, and then we trade up, and we had another 5% correction right here. So this is healthy. This is good for us to slowly grind higher, which is what I think most likely happens. And when we do break up, I don't think it's an if, I think it's a when. When we break higher, I think we can get one more really strong thrust out of this distribution phase whenever it occurs, and we'll see Dow 3,000, 30,000 no problem. I would assume. It's either going to, when we actually have a decent pause or slowdown, it will be a little bit under 30 or a little bit over 30, but it's not going to stop right at 30. That would be way too easy. So anyway, we'll see, but longer term, I do personally anticipate the markets to go higher. I did have some requests for today. My buddy Mark Coleman wanting to look at General Electric. So GE, I mean, we're bottom fishing here. It had the amazing Jack Welch, 1990 time run up, and that was it. Top of 2000 when the market crashed, GE never recovered. So if you're playing it down here, you're playing it for scraps. I don't know how long GE has left, but big picture on a weekly chart, we are coiling. Higher lows, lower highs. There's some pressures here. So here's the daily chart, and the good news is on GE is you are above the long-term moving averages, the 100, 200. Those have crossed, and you also are above the moving averages as well on the daily chart. So realistically, if you're playing GE, you probably could have a short-term bullish perspective. I just wouldn't have a massively long-term bullish outlook on it. I'm not saying it can't go higher. I mean, it certainly could. Theoretically, it could go all the way back up to 24, and that would be a hellaciously strong gain. I just don't know if it's going to be able to make it. You did have a wonderful morning star reversal down here back in November, December, January on a monthly chart. We did break higher in February and since then have traded sideways. So if you're watching for a quick 20-30% pop on GE short term in the next few weeks to months, I think that is very possible and certainly doable. Some other stocks I had a request on was Beyond Meat. Had a lot of people ask about this one, and this was a wonderful day trade opportunity today for a gap up. Shout outs to Julian for just nailing the analysis on this one. And I missed a Beyond Meat setup by a few pennies, which did not help the trades that I took afterwards. So Beyond Meat was a nice miss on the day, but you had just a cataclysmic bearish day yesterday. I mean, huge run up. Okay, I mean massive. Since day one, Beyond Meat has done nothing but go up for the most part. Big bullish gap and go, another gap and go, and then people are like, wait a minute, I'm up hundreds of % on Beyond Meat if you bought down in here somewhere. Let me sell and lock in a profit. And so when the stock gapped down, and it gapped down below the low of Monday, everyone was trapped and everyone was just getting absolutely smashed. So on the 5-minute chart yesterday, actually the 3-minute, you can see it on either time frame, doesn't really matter, but you get a really nice hammer candle, big volume. This is some people going long on Beyond Meat. And then once we got these candles in a row, you had to know we were going bearish. There's your flag pattern, and there's the breakdown. That's the bearish entry. And I had a buddy message me named Darren, ask me if he should hold some puts on Beyond Meat. And he asked me right about here. And I was like, yes, keep holding. And it did break down, eventually going lower into like this 126, made a nice new low. And then today, so Beyond Meat, right, it was nice and bearish yesterday. When it gapped up this morning, you had a lot of people trapped. And the interesting thing is, you can actually see very clearly, if you turn on pre-market, that you had to know that we were going to bounce today. I mean, you just had to know. I forget all the traders who made money on it early this morning. I think Mikey made some gains on it, and Lewis and a few other traders. But if I just go back to this right before market open, I mean, look at this pre-market move. So you had the bullish move, you had a retrace, and look at this. You're above all the moving averages, just from 126 to 133 before market open in the first hour, and just a really, really nice dip buying opportunity. So pretty much out the gate, she just ran. And once it ran out the gate, it did pull back after it made a new high. So it made a strong new high. And look where this thing pulled back to. Crazy town, but it came back and pulled back into the previous old resistance, new support of the pre-market high. So the place I went long, we set up a trade on it. We were looking at it, and it was on a 5-minute chart. It's a little bit later in the day. It was right here. So the stop loss was here. Entry was here. After it broke out, so it broke out, we were looking at getting it on a pullback, and it would not have filled by about a dime on a $100 stock. Unfortunate, but that would have been a really nice trend because, again, you're above the moving averages, you retested, very nice double bottom right here, good breakout, good volume. So anyway, missed Beyond Meat, unfortunately, personally, on a day trade today on this stock, but nice little move intraday, and right now you have an inside candle. So the trend is still bullish, even though you did have the bearish day yesterday. You had that 1 day of selling. If we start taking out or closing above the high of yesterday, guess what? Beyond Meat's going to keep going. As crazy as it sounds, you had the 1 day of selling, and now the shorts are getting trapped again. Anyone who actually can find some shares to borrow on Beyond Meat. So just be cautious on this one. It's going to be wild, and all I can say is there's 2 ways to play Beyond Meat, in my opinion. Way number 1, don't touch it. Okay, that's going to be the easiest one. Just don't play it. Way number 2 is going to be much easier. And take my advice on this one. 1 to 10 shares, own it, make money, sell. Okay, small position. 10 shares, no one's going to go broke. 5 shares, no one's going to go broke on Beyond Meat. Buy some shares of it, and if it goes a little bit higher and you're like, oh, cool, I'm up $70, sell it and go, great, and now I have enough money to go buy some burgers or some Beyond Meat burgers or some Beyond Meat sausage, go grill this Father's Day weekend, and look to buy a dip later. Because this is going to be a very volatile stock. Most of you, not most of you, I'm sorry, a lot of traders out there in the world will have a hard, difficult time understanding what this stock's about to do. It's going to do some parabolic stuff, very similar to Tilray. And that was my exact analysis on Tilray back in the day, over here, when it was just doing this insane, cataclysmically strong bullish moves, was, hey, own a few shares if you want, but if otherwise, you're going to have to be really advanced to play these trades with, the right position size, the right risk, the right entries, options, all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on Beyond Meat. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm insane, but just play it really, really cautiously, please, because I do think it will go lower and end badly for a lot of traders. QD, this is a swing trade that we're in on QD, so let me go to my swing trade journal. So QD, we are in at 7. Good little bullish trend. We got a target at 904. This thing looks like it's working on breaking out, and if it can close above here this week, which, we still have 2 days left, but keep an eye on QD because this one could run, and I'd love to make some gains on QD. 904 might be cutting it short. I don't know. We'll see if I'm cutting this one short, but keep your eyes on this one. It looks kind of nice. QD, decent little trend. Here's another one, Veritone, VERY. So this one is pulling back into my limit buy zone, and I'm debating if I want to get in pretty much now. The reason I'm waiting is because I already have a lot of trades going on at the present moment. But if you don't and you were looking for a possible trade, VERY could be one that is pulling back with some good volume, a decent little breakout. It might go a little bit farther, maybe 730, but it's one that you could at least keep your eyes on for a daily chart that could be a good trend at some point in time. Let's go look at some trades that I just absolutely did terrible on. Today I traded like the mold that is under your sink. If you have a sink and you have mold, that's how I traded today. Lam Research, LRCX. I went long on this trade. And honestly, even though I'm like, yeah, I lost on it, I'm happy with going long on Lam Research because this gap will fill and we will bounce. This is a nice gap. It was a perfect retest gap, so good, and I just picked the wrong direction. I went long. As you guys know, I mean, we're bullish right now, and I'm doing a lot of bullish trades. And when the bullish trades don't work, which the last 3 days they kind of haven't, you're going to lose on some trades. But when the bullish trades do work, like last week, you go up big. So anyway, Lam Research gapped down into the 100 simple moving average, and that's pretty much where I went long. Here's the 5-minute chart, and here's how I played Lam. Oops, did not mean to open that. Minimize Pine Editor. Okay, so here's how I played Lam Research on the long side. Once it popped, entry was here, stop loss. I gave a very comfortable stop loss because, I thought that if it did roll over, it would kind of do its thing. So trade up, it broke out, made a new high. So I said, okay, let me try to play the S-curve and let it bounce. That's the cool part about S-curves, folks. You never know if they're going to work. I played another one on Trade Desk that just did not trigger for me. Some traders like Julian, who really dominated today. Great job, Julian, one of my traders who came up to work with me here in Nashville, lives in Argentina, great person, really did very well today. I'll show you that one. That one worked, and this one, and I didn't get filled on that one, and this one did get filled and it didn't work. When you're playing the bounce, my friends, you never know if it's going to work or not. You just simply don't. And this one didn't. So it S-curved down and just simply did not bounce. It didn't bounce off the 100 simple EMA, and it just kept on crushing lower. I'm going to back trade this one about 7 times tonight because what I should have done is flip this position. Once this volume bar came in with obvious volume, I should have exited my long trade here. The low of this candle, I should have exited there, and at that loss, it would have been like 0.4R, and I should have shorted with a stop loss up there. That's what I should have done. I don't know why I didn't. Stupid me. Bearish retest gap just kept on rolling over. My buddy Albert asked me right here if Lam Research was going to keep going down, and I said, yep, it sure will, and it did. Man, I just played Lamb Research like just terrible. But here's the trade desk. So the trade desk, our analysis on it this morning was bullish, right? Gap down, very strong trend, small little gap, look to fade. And here's the 3-minute chart, and this did fade on the trade desk. Same exact analysis as Lamb Research. Boom, boom, and when this happened, I set up the entry here, stopped there, and it just ran, retested, almost got filled, and then didn't. So Julian was a little bit faster than me because on the microphone, in the morning room, I'm always a little bit slower than normal. Entry was there, entry was there, stop was there, and he exited right here for about 1.2. That was the perfect way to play the trade desk. And that's how I would have loved to played it, just didn't fill on the retest on the S-curve. So again, those things happen. That was the stock that I was looking at today and just didn't play out. Speaking of not playing out, PLAY. This stock was the most bearish stock on the market today. And guess who went long? Yours truly. Dave & Buster's blue chip stock pays a dividend. Bearish gap and go, down 21%. The most bearish stock out there. I did try it long. I'm not ashamed of it. Didn't work. Could have worked. Risk reward was stupendous. If it would have worked, the entire theme of today's video would have been different. So when this candle broke out right here at 10:55, I went long on a pullback. So this candle broke out, I got filled on that candle, and then we got stopped out on this candle exactly at 40.25. So I lost 0.8 R on Dave & Buster's. I lost negative R on Yeti swing trade. We'll look at that in a second. Lost 0.75 R on Lamb Research and lost 0.89 Rs today on this trade right here, so Dave & Buster's. So the exact opposite of a Wednesday. It was a lose day. But the good news is the market really starts running strongly in the next 2-3 days. I can get all that back. Just lose small. Collect and protect, ladies and gentlemen. So Dave & Buster's didn't work, and it is okay. Sometimes you're going to lose on trades. Would you rather learn from someone who actually loses, understands the loss, figures out how you can get better, makes some tweaks and is real with you, or just shows you about a bunch of Lamborghinis and Ferraris? Your call. But anyway, trading is hard, but simple. So anyway, Dave & Buster's, very nice bearish gap and go. My boy Greg Gilbert also played this one, and he shorted it, and his stop was just a little too tight. Greg got in bearish here, and he put his stop right there and got stopped out with that wick. Sorry, Greg. That's always frustrating when that happens. Best thing to learn from that is just give it a little bit more room when a stock, especially if it's a dividend-paying blue chip stock, it's gapping down like 17%. Just give it some wiggle room. When in doubt, move your stop up a little bit more. It's the R strategy. It still works out. Lose an R if you're wrong, make an R if you're right. Either way, though, man, really fantastic job. Great analysis. I'm proud of you. Shout-outs to D. Simpson for playing Tesla today. Bearish. I actually really liked the bearish play on Tesla this morning. It was just a perfect sell the news opportunity. And the cool part is we actually did play Tesla long this morning for a really, really quick trade. Here's the 5-minute chart, and actually I analyzed it off the 15. So on the 15-minute chart this morning, I said, hey folks, there's going to be a lot of stops right below this pre-market low. Buy there, in and out really, really fast. So it dipped down into that price on the 3-minute chart, and it did bounce. So we got filled on this candle, exit right here. My boy Andrew Hall got 0.37 Rs on that one, and then it just kind of rotated lower. Tom got 3 Rs on this Amazon rollover right here. Traded down, retested, it filled the gap, double topped, and then boom. He bought puts, stopped right there, got out for 3 Rs on the puts. Great job, Tom. I really did like the gap on Amazon today. I did like the fact that it gapped right below the low of yesterday's low, and today's candle is pretty much exactly what I thought it would do. Let's see, ZUO is a swing trade that we are in, and it, per Mr. Squiggles, did retest, and I'm hoping that they can kind of start slowly bouncing. This is a fade that we are in together, and I'm just hoping that it can break above this 10 EMA at some point soon. I was very close to selling it on Monday, and I should have. That one position would have changed the entire week for me. I'm 100% confident. But anyway, I didn't get out on Monday. It's retracing. I'll see if it can close above the high of this candle in the next few days, then I'll increase the stop. Another swing trade that we have is Pivotal, PVTL, and this thing is not doing anything at all. I was expecting it to hopefully fade, and it still could. Could, should, might, maybe. We shall see again, especially if the market has some bullish continuation at some point. This thing is just down to Pound Town really far, and it gapped outside this Bollinger Band, so I was just kind of looking for the Bollinger play for it to slowly creep back to normal. And it might. I don't know. We'll see. Still in it. Still waiting. Yeti was the one that I got stopped out on. This was a bearish trade that just simply did not work. And Yeti stop was 26.47. Got stopped out. This little move today, and that's, hey, sometimes you lose on trades. Yeti, they sell cups. Not sure how they're so valuable right now, but oh well. Lost on it. I'm not sour. Schlumberger, Energy, cannot catch a break. If I get stopped out on Energy, I will not play another bullish Energy position other than BP, probably for a few more months. Schlumberger and no other Energy position can just catch any kind of bullish break. It is unbelievable. Bullish gap up yesterday. Phenomenal gap. Good close. Double bottom. Hoping this is a retest, but I'll probably get out of Schlumberger this week if it doesn't rally strong. Because, man, Energy is getting wrecked. It is very impressive how weak Energy is. Apparently, the whole world's going to go solar. Hashtag Tesla. Hashtag to the moon. Hashtag Elon Musk. Hashtag game changer. All right, let's see. SLB, that was it. What else do we have? We have Uber. Uber as a bullish swing trade. UBER. We're down on it right now, but I do like the lower shadows. I do like the fact we're hitting these moving averages. And I like Uber. I'm excited to see if that bad boy is going to bounce. So Uber's doing its thing. We're also in bullish on Cronos, CRON, with some call options. So right now, target's 350. It gapped up yesterday. The high was 320, so we didn't get a chance to sell, unfortunately. I don't know. We'll see. I guess we're just going to kind of keep holding that position. If we break out the high of this candle, I'm going to have to increase the target from above 350, maybe to 360, 370, maybe even 407 for a 2R trade on CRON. We got filled on this trade on the 10th of June. So we'll see. A lot of traders also in UPS bullish with this really nice bullish gap and go on the 10th. And SCWX, Secure Works, is the other one that we're in. Mostly playing this one as a bullish potential bounce off of the 100 simple on the weekly chart. Also, as far as a fib is concerned, it depends on how you draw the fib exactly, but it's pulling back to an interesting level around the 618 if you're doing it on that fib, and if you're doing it on this high, it's pretty much exactly the 618. So this is the spot to buy the dip. It's had a good run up. It had a good pullback. I mean, you're pulling back 50% ish from previous highs. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Buy low, sell high, have your stops in place. Those are our trades. That's what we got right now. Still profitable for the month, of course. I mean, I'm always profitable. Always up, just up small. Not a big, this week, down this week. So this is this week and this is last week. So you can see a lot more green last week, not as much green this week. Losing small, that's the point. It's going to happen. Take it in lumps. 4.92 for the month of June. I'm going to get there, folks. Stay tuned. Friday, I'm looking at one of your trade reviews. If anybody wants me to look at a trade that you took, post it in the comment section below, and I will review whoever does it first. Otherwise, I'm going to pick from this gratuitous group of generous givers here in the RLT Slack community. Folks from around the world, the free week is coming up in July. It's a month away. You got the links. I'll be sending out a bunch of them. Next week, I'm going to be in New York City for the Benzinga Trading Summit, and then I'm going to be in Montreal. A lot of traveling next week. Hope to see you in either New York City or in Montreal. If you're in the area, hit me up. Folks from around the world, you rock. Until next time, love life, live life, trade it, bye.